Hey friends, hey, today I'm really excited because we're going to be talking about pie. I have some pie here. I have my pizza pie hat on my head, but I got some good pie that I'm going to have a bite of in just a second. Now, I have to ask you though, what kind of a pie do you like? Do you like apple or peach pie or blueberry pie or lemon meringue pie or cherry pie? What kind of a pie do you like? I have picked up at the store the other day in these cute little boxes some selections of pie. I got some blueberry pie here. I got some apple pie here. And I have my favorite cherry pie. So yeah, so these pies I have for later, and I'll take them home and eat them. But I have my cherry pie, another cherry pie, with me here that I'm looking forward to take a bite out of. So I know you have your favorite pie. It could be apple, peach, blueberry, lemon meringue, cherry, maybe some other pie that I didn't mention. But did you ever eat humble pie? Humble pie. Did you ever eat humble pie? You're going, what is humble pie? Well, did you ever hear someone say that they would have to eat humble pie? Or that somebody else might have to eat humble pie? Well, it's a saying, and the saying to eat humble pie really means to admit that someone is wrong. When someone is wrong, they should eat humble pie, some say. Some examples. Consider like a news conference. The Queen's press secretary was forced to eat humble pie yesterday and publicly apologized to the Duchess. Well, here's one I like. The Philadelphia Eagle fans were too quick to judge the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. I hope that they'll be eating humble pie before the end of the season. See, I'm hoping that the Eagles fans are wrong and eat humble pie. So that's sort of how we use the phrase to eat humble pie. Now, the phrase to eat humble pie is an old phrase. It actually goes back to the Middle Ages, when during a post-feast hunt or a post-hunt feast, when after a hunt, the lord of the manor would gather everybody together to eat a meal, and he would dole out the finest cuts of meat to the most important people that he was serving. But those who were least important or of lower standing would find themselves at the far end of the table, and they would be served. Ooh, this is sort of yucky. They would be served the entrails or the innards, the intestines of the animals. And those intestines were known then as umbles, umbles, umbles. And that meat was baked into a meat pie. The yucky meat pie, it sounds like. The innards of the animal were baked into this meat pie. And it was the common practice for the people at the low end of the table, or the place where people were least important, to be served this umble pie. And so they weren't feeling too good about themselves, I don't think. So the word humble that we use can reference coming from a lower status. So the wordplay could have been to eat humble pie when feeling humble, which is the likely possibility of the origin of this phrase. Anyway, humility, or being humble, is often defined as having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own self-importance. It can be the opposite of being proud. To be humble is to not be proud. Now, the Bible has some wisdom for us in regards to being proud or being humble. And what do you think it recommends? That we should be people of pride or people of humility? To be proud or to be humble? Well, let's see. Proverbs 11:2 says, when pride comes, shame follows, but wisdom comes to those who are not proud. Jesus in Luke 14:11 said, all those who lift themselves up will be made humble, and those who make themselves humble will be lifted up. I think that Jesus is encouraging us to be people who are humble. Colossians 3:12 says, you are God's chosen people. You are holy and dearly loved. So put on tender mercy and kindness as if they were your clothes. Don't be proud. Be gentle and patient. Ephesians 4:2. Don't be proud at all. Be completely gentle. Be patient. Put up with one another in love. James 4:6. But God continues to give us more grace. That's why Scripture says God opposes those who are proud, but he gives grace to those who are humble. It's a lot of scripture we've talked about today, isn't it? The last one is from Micah 6:8. The Lord has shown you what is good. He has told you what he requires of you. You must act with justice. You must love to show mercy, and you must be humble as you live in the sight of your God. So, eating humble pie is one way that we can practice humility, I guess, by acknowledging when we are wrong and by apologizing for it if we need to. To eat humble pie helps us realize that we shouldn't always be proud. Now, I know that I'm not always right. I'd like to think that I'm always right, but the truth is, I'm not. And if you think that you're always right, well, you're probably wrong. We are not always all right. And I want to be the kind of a person who can admit that and who practices humility. I don't want to be the kind of person who's proud and who rubs it in other people's faces, but I want to be the person who practices humility, is humble. Now, I don't look forward to eating humble pie that we talked about earlier, that yucky meat pie. Ooh, that just sounds terrible. But I will enjoy this piece of cherry pie, and I hope that you are a person who will commit to practice humility as well and be a person who follows God's ways and does what God asks of us to do, to love mercy and justice and to be humble as we live in the sight of our God and of other people. That's very important. So I wish for you a day that's filled with peace, a day that's filled with joy. Enjoy your pie, whether it's a pizza pie, apple pie, blueberry pie, lemon pie, or a piece of cherry pie. But have a really, really, really good day, okay? Mm, mm, very good. I like this cherry pie.